No, that's fisting. Oh, we on? All right. Oh, yeah. All right. This is what's really happening. And got Bella Martrice in studio, Eddie Vasquez, the poet, and let's have Thorton Mckay in studio. It's amazing. It's amazing. I never done this video thing before, and I think you could hear it and see us there. Mm-hmm. Glad to be back, everybody. It's this week is what can give someone drug problems. Let me know how you guys do it in life, because work sucks. Yeah, it does. And anyone have a regular job here? All right. Thanks. Don't do it. Don't get a regular job. It's, I got 5 years recently, they said, so I get a free jacket. It should say survived 5 years.
Have you been at Lucky's for 5 years?
Yes. Yeah.
Did you get a discount?
I mean, yeah, they got to give us something for our
Lucky's hell expensive.
Yeah. Well, you're making up for it with all your birthday gifts and free food, right?
I do that on my own. Either way, man. But it's crazy when I'm getting old, and it seems like I don't have any patience for stuff like I used to. Like, or is it old? Is it?
But you have to work on the patience, especially if you want to get along with somebody you're dating. I'm
an elder now, right? So I shouldn't have to deal with this kind of stuff. I don't like. I feel like. As I've aged, like you get to you're.
How old are you now?
I was born in 1981.
I was born in 1983, so I'm 40 years old. Shout out to everybody in their 40s.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this is a dope ass period in my life. Luke, you don't look like too happy about that 40 thing.
I'm 51.
Okay.
Oh,
congratulations!
Wow, how do you think Eddie looks without a? He used to have a beard.
My imagination ain't that big.
Yeah.
I used to look like a Latino Wolverine, basically.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Why did you?
Because I wanted to look a little younger. I wanted to look a
People
little
love
younger.
Wolverine.
I wanted to look a little younger.
Well,
I think vanity took hold,
No, you want to look like a child.
Well, the baby face came out,
Just like get you like a little dope mustache and keep yourself lined up.
Well, I had like the most stuff going on though, I had like the little beard going on.
I find people there's like an aura around where just people really people kind of suck lately, or is that
No, they do.
Okay.
I feel like the morals and integrity has totally dropped off the planet.
I think a lack of morals too. Lack of family and morals.
People seem to blame me for stuff, and then when I ask them,
what they was blaming you for?
I don't even know. That's the thing. Like, they have something in their mind where they say
gaslighting you.
They'll say you did this, and then I'll be like, okay, when was this? You should know you did. It's like it kind of feels like when in those movies where how they say when you're dating someone, you should know what you did, but these aren't people dating. So it's like, what? Explain this to me. And they so you should know. It's like, no, really, details.
I have to ask a question. Did you make that shirt?
No, but I do have a shirt I made. It's got my cat's picture on it.
Peruvians eat guinea pigs, right?
Why does this guy always bring this up?
I like the rest of them.
I think he's
I like the rest of them.
Yeah, I think he's Peruvian because I don't know if you're just into Peruvian women or are you Peruvian?
I'm actually Peruvian, yeah. All right. I've never dated a Peruvian one.
Oh my God, they got good ass food.
Yeah, it's really good food.
So
my culture's got good food.
Here's some poems, and I guess I was thinking maybe a freestyle or.
You're gonna freestyle?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
I
got some beats.
We're going for a Luke cipher right here.
Yeah, I'm with
you. Because
you start.
Eddie's into like the romantic stuff, so I could do one.
I got a pen for you, Luke.
Every time I see her, I can't wait to get home. Wait, no, I got this. Every time I come home from lunch, I hope she's there, so I can
What?
watch our favorite show together and be happy that she's not square. I love her so much. If there was a dare, I would do it. In a minute, I'd say screw it. I love that cat.
It's about his cat.
He loves
That
his cat.
was
He loves his cat. It's
She's amazing.
It's feline
I
love,
love
yeah.
that cat.
It's feline love, though.
yeah, of course. No, I
Yeah.
understand. I'm a cat girl myself. I'm
I'm
a
a dog
kitty
person.
gang.
He
I'm a
calls it-
Leo too, so of course I'm a cat.
That's his new track that's dropping. It's called Feline Frenzy.
Amy Love. It's called Amy, it's called
We on
Amy
a
Love.
remix.
Amy Love.
Ever since the
Amy
moment I
Love.
saw
Amy
her,
Love.
Mm-hmm.
I thought to myself, all my life I must have sought her. She's a gift from the heavens
What about a dating
Um,
smoking pot?
that I must have dreamt of.
Luke, I'm about to stop.
This cat I love. But
Hashtag wow.
I-
Hashtag wow.
I always have her sleep on top.
It's not like you talking about pussy.
It's
Luke.
hashtag bestiality
It's my
right
cat.
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hashtag bestiality right here.
Yeah, she only sleeps on the top. I don't yeah, she sleeps on top.
Okay, what's else? What else going on? Because I know recipes OJ.
Yeah, OJ.
Shout out.
I guess he's a Bay Area legend. I mean, you know what's
he's from San
what's
Francisco.
Yeah,
weird?
San Francisco.
He's got that whole murder thing, but I guess usually he was never
He didn't do it.
didn't do it.
No.
That's what the law says. That's what the court said.
So that's what the
I
attorneys
think Dave
preach.
Chappelle said he did it, didn't he?
I mean, he ain't.
So the
Judge.
Corsons say he did it.
Well,
so
money bought him good lawyers.
the Bay.
Shout out to the
I think the
Kardashians.
Bay Area
Yeah,
thinks he
shout out
didn't
to
do
him.
it
Pretty.
because he's been all over the Bay
But
Area.
also-
having love.
I mean, but-
he's
He
He
had a lot of
graduated
Bay
from
love.
Galileo High School.
But let's be real too. That they were racially, discriminated against him. I mean, there was a lot of racial shit that happened in that trial too.
Exactly.
So they were persecuting him based on race.
I mean, too, I think that what most
Yeah.
people don't understand is that, like, for a black man to get off even being accused of killing a white woman,
That's true.
for us, we was like,
That's a hero status right there.
Good job, OJ.
no, not saying, no, not, I'm
Oh.
not advocating killing women. My mother was murdered by my father. So, therefore, for me, it's
Oh.
very personal. But I'm just saying is that that's where the sentiment come from. It's where it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
because it don't happen.
He had a great sense of humor. Like he afterwards was like got thrown up in everyone's faces and all that, And he had that interview and he was like, "I got a gift for you," and he like acted like he was gonna, stab her. And
well, I
he,
didn't see that.
I mean, but he had quite a sense of humor, I mean, he's like, I didn't do it, so I might as well have fun with it, right?
Right, because if I didn't do something, I definitely would have fun with it.
Yeah.
Well, he even wrote a book that said
If I did
done
it,
yeah, if I had done it, yeah, or if I did it, yeah.
And two, I think with all this stuff, nobody ever thinks about how the children are affected.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were the real victims in the whole
Right.
thing. Yeah.
Hey, should we get to Thornton here?
sure, absolutely.
All right.
So do an intro of your guest, Thornton.
All right. Thornton.
And Thornton, put your camera back on so we can bring you back in here. Hopefully he's listening.
Yeah.
And you'll have to turn up 11 and 12.
So no one thinks
To you,
There you go.
no one thinks OJ did it. OJ did not, because if it's fair to say that, as he wasn't found guilty, okay, so I get it. So I should be one to know. I can't. Yeah.
I mean, the court
But
of
innocent
law, and his lawyers
till found
proved
guilty
proved that he wasn't innocent.
Of all people,
That's
I should be someone that supports that. I mean, I've had a lot of times they try to set me up. That was pretty classic then. I mean, how
Yeah, but
like,
Johnny Cochran was a G though. Johnny Cochran, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah, that was great. The way he was like halfway put on the glove.
That was a G move right there.
So he was halfway put on the glove and all that. None of that. And throughout that time, did any of you think he did it? Right? You just wait for that outcome because I know there's a lot of things out there with me where people are like, yeah, I'm sure he did it. I mean,
what they accuse you of, Luke?
You know, well, there was the one thing where I was trying to take a nap in my car.
Oh, I remember you told me.
They try to say I was you know I was beating one off, and I'm like,
did they put you on Megan's Law or no?
I'm like, how you know I'm covered.
So did they put you on Megan's Law or you got off of it?
No.
Drummers go to the beat of their own drum.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, no, actually, once the evidence was all turned over, because they had the body cam and all that.
Oh, okay.
But not only that, that's the criminalization of men, to where it's like, here you are, you know what I'm saying, taking a nap.
Well, they jumped to assumption, right? So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What time during the day was that whole incident?
It was still daylight out, so it's like, come on, and I realized from that time to where I thought to myself, I gotta be smarter, because what happened when I was younger, I was kind of one of those guys that gave an attitude towards police. So then I thought to myself, I gotta not give them attitude, and then next thing you know, I became gullible. So they started asking me all these questions. Like they asked me, they said, do you do this here often? And I didn't know what they were really talking about. So I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty often. I work a long shift over here. So yeah, I come over here, I do, I do this, I'm like, I didn't realize what they were talking about.
Okay, so anyway, Brian coming on. So what are we going to do next? You want me to do a poem?
Yeah, maybe, because I don't see Thornton. Thornton, can you hear us, bud?
Yeah.
So he's literally still connected with you, but he turned off his camera, and I have no idea why. So we'll find out. Yes, you should do a poem. Tell us about what you got going on.
Okay, so I just got off a book tour with Port Magazine.
Congrats, kudos.
Thank you. So boom, this is who they are, or who we are. Viva Pobre. Anyway, so I've been working with
pobre, like poor.
See. So boom, so we went down to Los Angeles. There's like a land liberation movement that Port Magazine do. Look up homefulness. I don't want to sit up there and talk about it like that. I don't want to misrepresent them or us.
Right.
So therefore, but I published this book for free. I get all the proceeds to me and my daughter, and
How old is your daughter?
She's 15.
Okay.
Yeah, she a boss hog too.
Yeah.
And one of my best friends or whatever did the book cover in the back. His name is Telly. And so what I'm going to do is going to read a poem. So this book is just about like my experiences growing up in San Francisco, moving to Oakland, living in Stockton.
Yeah, I lived in Stockton before too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
It's crazy out there.
No, actually, they actually have some really good people out there too.
Yeah.
Well, you should know where you're going also.
Well, you should know where you're going anywhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Stockton's hood though. There's parts of Stockton that are hood.
You should.
Everywhere got
Yeah,
hood.
everybody got hood though. Yeah.
Anywhere you should go, you should know where you're. You should know where you're at.
Right. Well, and even if you don't, you got God with you. So,
yeah, I'm ready to go at any moment.
As you should be, especially down here.
Not in the basement. We're safe here.
No, we're definitely safe.
Like if there was an earthquake or a bomb happened out there, we'd be safe right here.
Right.
Thanks for that warm thought, man.
Yeah. We're safe from the zombie apocalypse. Thank you.
It depends when we leave. It might be nothing.
In the Middle East conflict too.
We'll send you out first.
I'm game.
Oh, and see, we totally lost Thornton now. Go right ahead there, dear. I'm gonna dial Thornton back in a minute.
28 days later. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my goodness, I don't want to read no emotional poem. I'm used to like doing things.
Is this getting emotional?
No,
let's do this.
Just be
so this comes from your book, The Poets,
The Poets Promise
just
to
you.
be dope. In Volume 2.
Yeah,
Volume 2.
Express yourself.
The Poets Promise to be dope. Volume 2. That's pretty dope. I don't know why I feel like shy.
You've been here before.
I know that, but I was, on my rhythm and poetry.
You got you, okay.
Let her feel what she feels, bro.
Feelings are coming out here.
Let her feel what she feels, bro.
I do feel what I feel. I don't need no cosign either.
Yeah.
Don't need a cosigner either.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, we'll go ahead and answer Mr. Thornton again.
Good. And then too, before I do my poem, I want to hear me and Jay Fetty songs. I feel like that'll put me in the right mood.
All right, well, we will try picking up Mr. Thornton again. Why don't you do an intro of Thornton now that he's going to hear us? So,
all right, we got Thornton Mckay in studio.
there we go. Yay!
Nice
Thornton.
outfit. We were talking about that.
Thanks.
And you got kind of Joker vibe. Is that appropriate? You like the Joker?
Yeah, I do like the Joker.
See, there you go, Eddie. You just complimented.
Well,
him.
I'm a big Batman fan too.
I mean, he got Lady Gaga, and she's fly. So you couldn't come down today because of that protest.
Yeah, they blocked traffic for 6 hours. That's crazy.
What a bummer. Just like, what's the point of this? The Palestine, they say something about free Palestine. So the point of that is to make our economy broke out here, so we realize Palestine needs to be free.
Yeah.
I think that would just mean we pay more money. The government would probably just charge us more in taxes or something if we make them broke, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I like seeing I guess the people or protesters have cemented themselves in barrels. Did you see that?
I did not.
Oh, okay. So
I'll get another one.
I guess nowadays it's go woke or go broke.
Yeah. Which one would you choose?
Broke.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, unless I was talking about Freddy Krueger last week, and I feel like I would. I would go broke there too. I would let him take me instead of having that hassle of staying awake the whole time. It just seems like it's a big hassle just to stay awake. People say it's giving up, but I feel like staying awake seems like just a hassle. Okay. So the important part, you jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yes, I did.
Whoa. Okay, there's more to that. What made you do that? What was going on?
What made me do it?
Yeah,
a lot of things happened within that scenario to have it happen. It got to the point where my mental health was going downhill, and I was like, fuck everyone, fuck life, I'm gonna go jump off a bridge and try to kill myself. However, I survived. That's why I'm talking to you, because here I am. Get a second opportunity in life. Might as well not waste it and do something good with it while I'm here.
I'm glad you made it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you survived. There was no net at the time or anything, huh?
Well, there was a net, but it was 80% completed, and surprisingly, I fell in the area where there was no net quite yet.
So you made it to the water.
Yeah, I hit the water.
What happened after that? You had to get a boat out there?
When I fell off the bridge, it's about 200 feet from the distance I fell. I fell 80 miles an hour. I hit the water within 4 seconds, and I treaded water for 40 minutes until the Coast Guard picked me up, and then they took me to Marin Health.
And what were you must have had injuries.
Yeah, I broke 8 vertebrae in my back. I punctured my lung, and I tore my esophagus.
Sometimes I feel like...
God bless you.
Thanks.
And what afterwards? What were you...
Well, what happened afterwards?
Yeah.
I was in a hospital bed at Marin Health for about 2.5 weeks, and then I did 2 weeks at Memorial, where I'm located in Santa Rosa. And then it took me about 5.5 months of physical therapy to start being able to walk and do all that again.
So you have a different... What's your outlook on life after that?
I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I wake up and life is still crazy and hard, and there are days that I wake up and I feel like I'm grateful to be alive. Do I still think that sometimes I'm like, fuck, it would be better if I died, or maybe I might do it in the future? Yeah, I still think about it, but at least now that I get a second opportunity, I get to help people and myself with it, which is good.
What I do want to say, I clap because thank you for being real. Because actually, I'm a mental health advocate, and that I think people think about being the healed in the woke culture, as you never about to go back there again. You won't have to keep fighting those demons. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for being transparent. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
This is Eddie. I wanted to ask you a question. Did it change your spiritual or faith outlook? Like, did you believe like in a higher power after everything you went through?
No. So I'm going to be completely honest. I am not religious. Okay. I consider myself agnostic, but I would more consider myself an atheist.
Okay.
I am not religious. However, it's interesting you say that, because even though I'm not religious, I literally was in the water for 40 minutes treading water, and I was like, what's ever out there, take me. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting. I wouldn't say like I believe in a god or like I'm religious, but I guess, I don't know, statistically speaking, probability wise, something could be out there. So I don't want to like throw that out of the question.
So you don't feel like anything saved you? Like,
no, I don't think anything saved me.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's just life goes on, sort of.
Life goes on, yeah.
With or without you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do you mind if I ask what date that was? When was that?
That was 12/27, so December 27th, 2022 at 3:10 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's actually 9 days after my birthday, which my birthday was the 18th of December. And then around the time on my birthday, 9 days later, for that whole 9-day period, I'm like looking at statistics, looking at my chances of dying, and I'm like, I'm going to go. And my chances of making it and surviving were less than 2.5%. So what that means is I'm the 39th survivor. So far, there's about 43 we know of around 1,800 to 2,000 people jumping who unfortunately didn't make it.
I know Kevin.
You know Kevin Hines?
Yeah,
Kevin Hines.
I talked to him at Marin Health on the phone.
Yeah.
Also, if you get contact of Kevin Hines, I really like him, but tell him that $400 million suicide net, that money could have went to resources for mental health. But, America, let's build a net.
Okay, but I think that when it comes down to mental health and stuff like that, there's not one strategy. And I feel like you should really do advocacy and speak up on the part that you believe. And I feel like there's about diversity, not one way of going about it.
I agree.
Well, yeah. I guess...
And I know the other Kevin, the CHP officer.
Yeah, I had him on the show. Kevin Briggs and Kevin Berth,
Yeah.
I guess a lot of times people think, just what can you do? Mental health or the net, and
I believe in revolutionary.
I guess the net, probably people go, well, this will stop people. But also,
I
guess you can do the mental health.
The net is supposed to do one of two things. It's a deterrent. So when I fell, there was no net. So I fell at 80 miles an hour and hit the water in 4 seconds. The net is supposed to stop the momentum. So it makes you land in the net. And then from there's 180 feet. So if you were to jump again, the level of rate of how fast you would fall is way different. It's still a little less, but you'd still fall way less than 80 miles an hour.
Wait, you're telling me you still fall in the water?
What?
You still fall in the water?
No, what I'm saying is the net is there to make you land into it. But if you were to jump, the reason why they have the net there, if you were to think about doing it again, instead of 80 miles an hour, you might fall at like 50 to 60.
May I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So what type of, what resources do you feel like you would have needed or support that you would have needed before you took that leap?
So what actually led me to jumping was I was at the SRJC and I was discriminated against a lot because I'm in the disabled community, and a lot of their perspective at the JC was like, oh, you're fine, you don't seem disabled, like there's nothing wrong with you, you've never gone through hardships. Unfortunately, based on my perspective of how I felt at the JC, I felt like there was a lot of I feel like it's kind of reverse racism. They were like, "Oh, you're white. You've never had problems in your life. You're not disabled. You've never had to gone through anything that we've had to go through." And to me, I felt like that was going on a lot. They didn't look at me as the struggles of being in the foster youth system, or they didn't focus on my mental health. They were just like, you're whatever, you're fine, you're okay, nothing's wrong with you.
You're able-bodied, so you should just be able to figure this out on your own.
But what does that have to do with racism?
I felt a lot of that at the JC. Another thing that happened was, while that was going on, I was near Santa Rosa, and I saw somebody overdose who had drug problems, and they were having a seizure ring out. Anyway, come to figure out that was my mom who overdosed under the bridge in Santa Rosa because she was a drug addict. Wow. And then that happened. So seeing my mom overdose on drugs and almost dying, and my discrimination I was facing at the JC combined, that made me want to like jump off the bridge. But now I look at it, I'm a little bit more grateful now, because 5.5 months after my hospital visit and me at the bridge, so like 5.5 months ago recently, I just figured out she died of a fentanyl overdose. So
sorry. Yeah, fentanyl sucks.
It is what it is, but I mean, it's kind of helped build me who I am. I don't regret any of the decisions I made with the bridge incident, because I think it's going to help me strive to be stronger and hopefully be a better individual for others.
Okay, so, but what I'm trying to ask is that, like, let's say, for example, if there's somebody that's in your position right now, out of everything that you've been through, like, how would you help heal that person?
I think personally, when it comes down to helping that person out, I think when it comes to our society throughout the U.S., I think mental health is a really big, important necessity that I don't think we like put our priorities towards. And I really think
I'm asking about your personal, not the infrastructure. I'm talking about you personally. How would you?
Well, what I do?
Yeah.
I think it just starts off with listening to people and telling them that you matter, but I also understand why you would want to make the decision of wanting to kill yourself, because I feel like that's a big issue in our society. There's a lot of suicide and people feeling like life is hard, so the easy way out is to do this. And I also understand why they go through that pain and suffering. So sometimes all it takes is being like, you matter, I'm here to listen to your struggles and hear you from what you're going through, and just have empathy for them.
Yeah, versus sympathy for someone. It's more empathy.
Yeah.
And realizing, hey, you're a fellow human being on this earth, and we all hurt sometime.
Yeah. But I also feel like I hate this stigma of, well, when people kill themselves, they're selfish, because think about all the people that they're hurting. That's such a bullshit way of thinking. Like, I also feel like we also have to be empathetic and understanding why people go out and make those decisions, because we all get it. Life's hard. Life's a struggle. Like, but I also feel like sometimes just listening or giving somebody a smile or telling them that they matter can hopefully change the way that they look at their outlook on life.
Well, Thornton, I really commend you for being brave and talking about what you're talking about. My mother actually committed suicide when I was 18, and there's always a stigma. I actually had to look for therapy in my own life, and there's like a stigma. I actually wanted to talk about it today, but I struggle with codependency and anxiety, and I think there's a real stigma in the society. It still is, where it's almost like you're showing, I don't want to say weakness, but it's almost like people are afraid to be vulnerable, you know? And I really commend you for your bravery, and also whether it was a cry for help or whatever you did, I feel like what you're sharing today could help a lot of people, and just at least even acknowledging what they're going through, you know?
I appreciate it. Thank you, Eddie.
Yeah.
The other thing I'd like to add to that is, well, first I'd like to share something after based on what you said.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your vulnerability.
Yeah.
And I think another thing that's important, I mean, a lot of people might not be able to do it, but I'm a person where I'm very brutally honest and blunt,
Yeah, I am.
which is a blessing and a curse. But I like to embrace who I am. I don't want to shy away from who I am. I think authenticity is a great thing to have as a human being.
I agree.
That's why I like being vulnerable, and if I can share something with others, it's great because maybe I can help them out with their life or struggles that they're going through. Yeah, I don't have codependency issues, but I do have anxiety. I do have a lot of disabilities I have, but I just feel like it's great to be able to share things with the world because everybody can always use a different perspective or outlook on life.
Well, I commend you for your bravery because I know it's not easy to be courageous sometimes, and sometimes the world tells us to not show who we are. So I appreciate you also saying to be your authentic self, your true self.
Thank you.
You know, I find it's hard as a man because I do believe we need that. You know, men need to be masculine, but it seems like the moment we edge towards our feelings, it's all bad. Like if I just mention like, oh, I got anxieties right now, it's like the response is a lot different than because I'm a man. I think, you know, it's like I'm looked down on now.
And 100% agree. And I feel like hopefully one day we can build a world where whether you're a woman, man, whatever, we can all get along and realize that we all struggle. And if we can build togetherness, that's going to be the greatest thing we can possibly have. Even if we agree to disagree, at least if we can build a community, that's what matters. And hopefully one day we'll recognize that everyone struggles and everyone has their mental health issues and everyone has something trauma-wise or whatever it is that we got to realize, you know what? Everyone struggles.
What was your upbringing like?
So from being born till about 7, I grew up in a drug-related and abusive environment with my mom and dad. Like I said, my mom just died of a fentanyl overdose recently. However, my dad's still alive. My dad was a big alcoholic.
Rest in peace to your mom.
Really? What?
Rest in peace to your mom. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. And it's kind of sad because the other thing is her name was Eileen Sumi Mckay. Great. Before I was like, damn, it was drugs. It was your fault. Like you could have said no. That was my mindset for the longest time. And then I just heard from my family she had a lot of potential. She was going to be a nurse. She was actually a nurse, but what happened was she would take drugs from the patients and bring it back to my dad because he was an alcoholic. And she had a lot more potential than she had, but my dad kind of was like a toxic relationship, so she got heavily into drugs because of that. My dad is, like I said, an alcoholic, still alive, doing his thing, really, really bad gambling addict. So I try to stay away from drugs and gambling and anything addiction-wise. But anyway, we went to 7. That happens. And there was reports to CPS, and they're like, oh, this kid's being abused. Parents are on drugs. Terrible living in situation. So then I went to the foster youth system. So from about 7 to 17, I was from foster care to foster care. And around 15 to 17, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be this obnoxious teenager anymore. And I don't want to be in the foster youth system because this shit's just tough. And I built some relationships with the staff members at the group homes, but I was like, you know what? I want to be able to be independent and be able to do my own thing. So anyway, I'm in a living situation, going to school, paying rent, doing a lot better. But like I said, 7 to 17, group home system. Now I'm going to school at the SRJC still, about to be done soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then I'm going to either transfer or maybe take some months off and learn how to drive and do some other stuff. But for now, I'm doing a lot better. But like I said, abuse, drug-related environment, group homes. And it's funny because people will come up to me and they're like, you know what? You've had a really tough life. Like, that's got to be really shitty. And I'm like, I understand that I've gone through struggles, but I also feel like I'm kind of glad this happened in a sense because of the fact that it's helped me realize I had to do things on my own, be independent, and strive to do better. And I feel like some of the most challenging things in life can be the most beautiful.
Hey, Thornton, I had one more question for you too.
Yeah.
Kind of, since we're talking about mental health, and I think it's really important. I think you and I both can see eye to eye or on the same page as far as mental health awareness. Mm-hmm. What would you say to somebody else say somebody's struggling with depression or is suicidal or is at the point where they want to jump over the bridge, and like, what would you tell somebody if you could go back and tell yourself something? What would you tell yourself back then? You know?
Or what would I tell myself if I ever decided to do that again?
Yeah, what would you
or someone in your situation,
yeah.
So take it out here. Yeah.
First, I'll start off with myself, and then I'll go to what I'd say to the person. If I could go back in time and tell myself, if me before jumping off the bridge, I would tell myself, I understand what you're going through, and you matter, and just realize that there are people out there, whether you know or not, who actually care about the decision you would make. Going to the person who I would tell them, I understand what you're going through, and I understand that life can be hard. And just remember, you matter, and there are people who care about you.
So how do you...
And you make an impact whether you know it or not. However, I understand why you would think about making this decision. And hopefully you can realize you matter, and no matter what decision you would make at the moment, you make an impact. I don't want to say, like, don't jump, because I feel like personally, like, life is hard, and it would be selfish for me to be like, don't kill yourself. I want to be real in this environment, and I'm more from an understanding point of view than from of like, you shouldn't do it for these reasons point of view.
How can you tell? Because I think just every one of people I've known that have committed suicide find out and like, oh, I didn't see that happening.
Well, there was a
how do you
documentary too, you know?
Tell that someone is depressed to that bad to where it's going to be that unfortunate situation?
So that's super complicated to answer, because based on every single person, some people are a lot harder to read than others. And there are people that could be the happiest people or look the happiest who are the most depressed. And sometimes they're actually the ones who are most likely to actually want to kill themselves or successfully do it. And I think it goes back to what I said before is all it takes sometimes, or most of the time, I mean, sometimes people are going to do it no matter what, and you just can't help it. But I think the most important thing in these situations is just being able to tell somebody that they matter and listen to what they're going through and their struggles, and let them know how much of an impact they make, whether they know it or not. I think that's important. I think that's really all you can do. And sometimes even I feel like people who do successfully like kill themselves later, at least they have that perspective that you listened or that you told them that they mattered. And I think that can lead a big impact or a big influence on other people.
It's funny, I always said successfully. Like they successfully killed themselves. I've never thought about it.
Well, there was that documentary about all the bridge jumpers, which I've only seen parts of it, but a lot of it that you realize in this documentary, which I've only seen part of it, is that everybody has different stories, everybody has different reasons as to why they're jumping. So something you said is really poignant too, that you don't want to just kind of throw a blanket statement and say, well, this is all one drug or one addiction thing or one mental health thing, because it's various reasons as to why people do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you're so now you're a comedian.
Yeah, I would say I'm a comedian. Not only because sometimes I think my life's a joke. No, I'm just kidding. But because I want to be able to make people laugh and make myself be able to laugh. I think even though sometimes laughter or comedy can be a big mask, it's also therapeutic to me. It helps me develop friendships with others. They can laugh at an experience that was hard for me that I went through. But sometimes they say laughter is the best medicine. And I feel like just being able to tell my story when I'm on stage or telling people what I went through and letting people know I struggle, but so do you guys and the audience and everyone else in the world, to tell them that the struggle is real and mental health is important, and to be able to make jokes about it while I'm up on stage, I feel like is important because I'm doing my contribution, and they're also going to be able to have the ability to make their contribution with others, and it's like a rippling effect. So that's kind of cool to be able to do comedy and talk about my story while I'm up there.
Well, it's a good job. It sounds like reading how the police took you from a house that was you were in danger of at 15.
Yeah.
All right, so did that police taking you away actually help you get a little bit of mental health, or did that?
So what you're actually referencing is at 15. Surprisingly, what happened was, so 1 to 7, like I said, I was in an abusive and drug-related environment, and I was at a group home at 15 called Aldea. And what you're referencing at 15 was, surprisingly, I had my parents' number again, and I said, "Hey, Mom and Dad, I really hate it here. I'm getting treated bad at this group home. Will you come pick me up?" And they lived at Nice. So Nice is a pretty bad drug-related area in Lake County. And they said, "Oh yeah, we'll do that." Well, surprisingly, come forward, them taking me to Lake County was considered kidnapping because I was still part of the ward of the court with the group home system. I wasn't 18, so I couldn't make that decision. Anyway, I go back to their house in Lake County, drug addicts, really terrible environment. And my mom and dad at the time had a warrant. So they came to the house and they took me from Lake County and they brought me back to a place called Valley of the Moon in Sonoma. From there, year and a half, went from Children's Village to Hannah, back to Valley of the Moon for a bit, group home to group home. And then from there at 17, I went to this foster home with Mary Ann, my foster mom, who I actually consider my real mom. She was amazing, great person. So it kind of really worked out because from Mary Ann to where I'm at now to the future of where it comes to come, I think I'm doing a lot better personally. So I feel like coincidentally, it's great that that happened. Not saying that there wasn't struggles or complications, but at least I'm doing a lot better, and that's what matters, and I can help other people out with that scenario.
Yeah, well, it's great having you on, and
thank you.
We gotta head out here to
Thanks, Thorton, for sharing what you shared.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thanks, Thorton.
Yeah, great hearing your story. We can help others.
We'll stay in touch afterwards too.
And Thornton, how do we keep up? You're doing stand-up comedy now. Tell us how we keep up with everything that you do. Please give us.
So I do comedy at 3 places. Well, I call it 2.5 because Roaring Donkey I feel like doesn't count. That's a place in Petaluma I've gone to twice in my life. The other 2 places I go to is a place called Barrel Proof Lounge in Santa Rosa, downtown Santa Rosa, right next to the Tipsy Taco, a restaurant where you have to be tipsy to like their food, hence the name. And it's a place I do comedy. It's every Wednesday 7 to 10 at night, and every Sunday from 2 in the afternoon till 3:30 in the afternoon. There's another place I go Thursdays and Saturdays called Iron Ox, and that's also 7 to 10. And the Roaring Donkey is 9 to 11, but I don't really go there. Those are the 3 places I've been doing comedy.
And if we're going to keep up with you on social media, where do we do that?
My Instagram account is my first and last name, and ironically, it's a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge.
There you go.
And there's also a Facebook account I have with my first and last name, Thorton Mckay, with the same picture. So, yeah. So that's what I have. I also have a TikTok, but I don't really use it.
Yeah.
So everybody in the studio, give it up for Thorton Mckay, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing what you shared, Thornton.
You're welcome. And one of the jokes I make, I'm just kidding, by the way, this is a joke, but my phone number is 707-608-8929. So if you ever hey, I want to kill myself, I'm a phone call away. No, I'm just kidding. Suicide prevention line, everyone. Here I am.
There
That'd
you
be
go.
funny. We asked for him. Call that number. Ask for him.
And what is the national number? Isn't there a 611 now?
There is a 611. You can text it, or there's a suicide prevention line. I forgot the number, but you can call that.
Yeah, I actually called them and they put me on hold. So
yeah, they're not that
jokes.
great. They're hard
Paul
to.
with the jokes. You know?
Yeah, they're hard to deal with.
Yeah.
However, good news about the Golden Gate Bridge. They also have
it's 988.
suicide.
It's 988.
988. Yeah.
All right, well, thanks.
Another good information about the bridge, they also have suicide phone numbers, like suicide phones you can call somebody on at the bridge.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for coming on.
Again,
Great.
Thornton Mckay, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I guess I could say I was successful too. I did it once, but I won't follow through. But they.
You actually jumped off the bridge?
No. Oh yeah, we stayed on the bridge topic. I was just talking about suicide. My stepdad his mom jumped off the bridge. She I guess she was successful because she made it. She didn't survive. I don't know. It's funny. I never. Wait,
Thank you.
I never thought about that word successful before. Like if someone. Now that I think of it, all the people that passed on from suicide, I guess they were successful. Never thought about that before.
It's unsuccessful, which is
what?
It's unsuccessful suicides.
Oh yeah. Like I didn't.
Yeah, you want to be unsuccessful.
I didn't make it.
If there was ever a time you needed to be unsuccessful, it would
yeah.
be a suicide.
Yeah, you
I
want to
can't
fail.
say I didn't have a backbone because the only unsuccessful part was I just didn't make it all the way through. The pills just kind of froze up my body. I couldn't make it anymore. I was 15 though. I was just.
You actually tried?
Yeah, but teenagers have all those crazy emotions going on. You can't even make them out. You're just like,
what kind of
die.
resources did you wish you had at that time? What do you wish somebody would have did for you to prevent?
Oh
that?
well, I guess I was in certain school system.
No.
I would say like to be treated like a regular person. I think because throughout life it's like, you got learning problems or something, or you got behavior problems. So here's where you're gonna stay. So I just wish people would have treated you like a
human.
Like I go, okay, you got these issues, but let's work on what can help you just get further in life. Then I'm like, okay, instead of just treating me too special, like, geez, how about some math here, or like just help me be a regular person.
Well, what made you? I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it, but what made you want to go to that next step where you? I mean, were you just like tired of everything in life, or what?
Well, yeah, stupid kids and their emotions.
Yeah.
15, I mean, after that, I'm just like, well, yeah, sure, life gets a little crazy, but I ain't gonna do that again.
What I want to do is I ain't gonna lie to you to where it's like I didn't expect it, and I would have came better prepared.
For the mental health talk again?
Mental health talk? No, I'm a mental health advocate and ally. I suffer from PTSD. I suffer from anxiety.
Okay. I feel you on that.
I think just going through other things in life too made me realize, because like I've had situations where I feel like my freedom could be taken away, and also I've had situations where I feel like my life could be taken away just on like things going on in an outside life. Yeah, to where I'm like, I'm blessed to still be here.
I mean, I deal with social anxiety, so
you got to see how you're blessed to still be here. I think that's
what I want to do while I have you here, and then I have to make it back to the East Bay.
Gotta head out.
Yeah, I gotta go home.
Oh, we got a little bit. Yeah, we got a little bit of time left.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, I've sent my man out or whatever, go move the car back down.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And stuff like that. My kids at home. But what I want to do is share this event. Shout out to the Black Panthers. So this is for the self-help hunger program, honoring the unsung fathers. Is June 23rd, 12 to 7. It's on Jasper P. Driver Plaza, 61st and Adeline Street up in Berkeley. It's resources for fathers, vendors. There's going to be a skating area.
Rest in peace, Huey Newton.
food trucks and a bouncy house, you know. This is my book. My name is Martrice, Tanisha Candler. They call me Bella Martrice. I'm going to read one poem, then I'm about to bounce.
Okay. 'Cause I was going to play a song, but I don't know where Paul went.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, might as well do the poem.
Yeah.
And I'll read mine after she's
And
done.
then, two, this is for Maya Angelou. Who will remember her? Her dreams, a deformed infant that she nurtured, whispering, promising this baby, crippled, ugly, crying, scared, scarred from a scraped and battered womb. Still her seed, she whispered, beauty grow. Or do you remember the elders' displeasing mouths turned downward like an upside down crescent moon? Still her seed, she commanded with thunder in her voice like a man sanctified high off the cloth. High off the Holy Spirit, beauty, grow. Mainstream, they entice her to feed this dream infant, discouraged from the breast and organic alternatives. See, you will never understand the importance of accepting Jesus if I had accepted God until my love, my dream was a topic of conversation, as if there was a possibility for negotiation, for it to be martyred. Martyred, fancy word for viciously, unjustly slaughtered. Grow, she sang in a high-pitched, whimsical tone, as if from a brass instrument.